Good evening. It is Ironkar. It is my pleasure to be with you in this evening. You have had a meditation which dwelt upon the chakras and some of the different qualities they can bring to you. It is good to be balanced in your life, balanced in all ways, so that your life is balanced. And while that may seem like a silly thing to say, to please be balanced so that you are balanced, it is amazing how unbalanced some people can be. There are those people who can get stuck in their minds and think things in a very heady way. This does not always bring them to the right decisions and the right decisions that they wish to make, for they are sometimes ignoring their emotions. And of course, there are those people who dwell in an emotional world, and they react to everything on an emotional basis. This makes it very difficult for them to think rationally. Just as the heady person does not think emotionally, so it is the emotional person cannot think heady and rationally. They tend to make decisions based on emotional feelings and how they think things ought to be without regard for the thought of how they are to be achieved or whether they are being achieved within the person themselves. And then there's those that deal with the foundation. They know the basics. They know who they are. They know what they know. And they are usually quite sturdy and can be the foundation of many things, for they do have a good sense of identity. And sometimes, though, they can get stuck in that identity and not think of the world as a whole or their life as a whole. So being balanced is a very important thing. You know that we frequently say that people are healed or are in need of healing on the emotional, the mental, and the physical levels. Well, these are the conditions of these different areas in your life. The physical level, of course, corresponds to the root chakra and the lower three chakras. The emotional level corresponds to the middle three chakras and or the middle two chakras, and the last two is your spiritual connection. It's important to remember that you are all connected to spirit at all times. That if you need help and you need guidance and you want to get a different perspective on things, you can just ask yourself, because you are connected to the spirit. You are part of God. You are made up of God. You are part of God. So all those connections which enable you to see and understand things can be made through your chakras and through asking yourself and asking that part of yourself which is divine and spirit himself. In each of these things will help you to live the life that you wish to live and also live a balanced life in which you can take care of all your needs, all your wants, all your desires, and create a happy, healthy life for yourself. Are there any questions on what I have said in this evening? And if you do not have questions on what I have just spoken about, I will take questions on anything you wish. Come now, speak up.
You said the chakras are part of the emotional, certain chakras, are they connected to the emotional part of our mind? Is that what you were saying?
Connected, say it again, connected.
Did you say that like certain chakras, like I think you said the three middle ones or something, are they
Yes, the two middle
directly to our mind as in where our emotions come from?
But Mara, they do. Oh, are you asking where your emotions come from?
Oh, yeah, and if they're connected to those particular chakras and not the others.
Well, they are more connected to the middle chakras. That is true. And but your emotions actually come from your physical body, not from your chakras.
Oh,
And your emotions, of course, well, how can I explain it? One moment, please. Your emotions are generated within the physical body. And as such, they affect those two middle chakras more fully than they have an effect. It is very hard to say. They do not really affect the chakras, but they take up residence within the chakras, so that parts of your being. Yes, we have a puppy. So I'm sorry, the puppy is making me laugh. So that the chakras are energy systems, and as such, they amplify the emotional energies while you are experiencing something or reacting to something. Whether you are reacting with anger, or whether you're reacting with love, or whether you are reacting with fear, some of these things are all amplified within the chakras and make their way out into your aura. Now, your aura can give off certain radiations, I will put it that way, which others can feel. It is part of the way in which we communicate with one another. I don't know that I have helped you in any way.
sorry, I had the thing off. Are they harmful to the chakras?
Oh, no.
Negative
Sometimes
emotions?
they sometimes can affect them and slow them down.
Oh, but they don't hurt them any. They don't deteriorate them, or I don't know what words to use. Make them less effective, I guess.
That is the problem. What words do you use?
Yeah.
It is my problem as well. So that I do not quite know how to say it. I should perhaps have let that subject matter go for a different day when I have come up with better vocabulary.
I'll give you homework to do.
So it is important just to be balanced in your life, to try to use all the aspects of yourself.
Yeah, well, I know emotions get overdone with people, and we react to things. And if this is affecting our chakras, then that's getting us out of balance, right?
It's getting you out of balance. Yes, it can get you out of balance.
So do the chakras, for lack of it, I know this is probably not the good wording, but do they fight back, so to speak, to try to keep us in balance?
No, they do not fight back.
Oh, okay.
But when you meditate and you center yourself, you allow those chakras to once again regenerate the proper amount of energy and to allow the free flow of energy through all the chakras when you are meditating. So therefore, meditation is helpful to yourself.
Ah, okay. All right.
It is another good reason to meditate.
Yes, especially after you've had some experience that was emotional or upsetting, or, whatever.
Yes.
Okay.
And it shows up in the good health of the body.
Ah, that's even better. And
That
from
is
our point
why-
of view anyways, because we're stuck in the physical body.
Yes, that is why they are currently telling everyone that meditation is a good thing
Mhm.
for their heart, for their well-being.
Okay. I shall have to work on that. Thank
Just
you.
try to find a time that in which you can meditate on a daily basis, a time which is convenient for you. To look for a time that seems to fall within your schedule so that you can put it aside every day
Mhm.
and just practice that for 5 minutes, 10
Right.
minutes if you can. And that is good enough to start.
Mhm.
5 or 10 minutes. So it need not take up too much extra time.
Right. I managed to find the time, but it's a noise in the house. I think that other people in the house are making bracket or whatever, and it keeps disturbing my
But that is what is
so to
good.
speak.
Yes, but so everyone is making noise, but you are concentrating on what you are choosing to concentrate on. So this is the perfect time to do it. You may not be able to do it well, but because it is more difficult for you to adopt a peaceful position, so to speak, this is excellent practice. And if you can overcome the noise and the hubbub of your own home, then you will become very skilled at meditating and you will get all the benefit from it that you need.
Oh, awesome. Okay. I keep working on it.
That is precisely so. Many people feel that they are not, oh, I can't meditate because I become distracted. Everyone becomes distracted. That is the point of meditation, to seek to not be distracted and to concentrate on God, to concentrate on your mantra, to concentrate on your breath, to concentrate on whatever you decide to concentrate on. And it does not come easily. It is something that needs to be practiced. And as it is practiced, so it is that your skill grows and you find that you soon become adept at ignoring those things that are happening around you because you choose to meditate. You might try going to your bedroom, at least, and close the door. It will be a bit more isolated.
I've got a question on emotions, or a comment question. Would you say that emotions are really crystallized thought, sort of like a group of pre-programmed thoughts that get triggered all at once without the mind even knowing it?
That is true. I would not put the phrase that way. However, as a crystallized something that gets triggered. However, I think by crystallized, you are saying that it is habitual.
Yes, it's something that's condensed over and over and over again, same thought over time, that becomes a body unto itself almost.
Well, most emotions are triggered by your thoughts. And so if you find yourself getting angry all the time, it is because you have a thought that says, this shouldn't be. I do not like this. And so you get angry. If you find yourself being hurt by the words of others, it is because you are saying they should not be saying this. This is not kind to me. And it is an habitual thought. And that thought triggers an emotion of sadness because you feel that you are not being appreciated, perhaps. And this is what happens. There are repetitive reactions to certain things in your life. So if you find yourself getting angry, it is usually the thought that this is wrong, this shouldn't be, this is not what I want. And as a result, you make yourself angry. And when you are hurt, you are saying, poor me, these people do not appreciate me. And when you are happy, that is a reaction also. It is an emotion. It is one that says everything is good and I feel good. And see, that is a thought you wish to cultivate. You wish to put many things into the category of not being particularly one way or another, so that you don't find yourself being happy one instant and being very angry another and being very sad just a moment later, because you are reacting to these thoughts that go through your head based on your judgments about what other people are saying and doing, or about what is going on in the world. It does not matter where these judgments lie, but they trigger the thought that makes you unhappy or sad or angry. And just the same, you can force yourself or help yourself feel happy by saying that it is good, that something is good. It makes you happy. And by making that statement, you cause yourself to feel more happy. You know, it may not work perfectly in every situation that you have said, I am happy, when you're not. You cannot convince yourself to be happy. But by clarifying your thought with an I am happy because I like this, you will help yourself to be able to respond to that thought that I am happy, and generally change your demeanor to become one that is happy or appreciative or thankful. This is all up to your thoughts and your ideas. That is how you create the world in which you live. You are always creating in every moment the world in which you live by your judgments, your ideas, your thoughts, your perceptions. Your perceptions and your thoughts are very much related. So they bring about your happiness or unhappiness. You say that in the church.
Well, the word that comes to mind that's come to me a great deal lately is the practice of requalifying the thought or requalifying the situation.
Yes.
Because you can govern the control over your own perception that way.
Yes.
So
That
as you begin that, go ahead.
I was going to say that is often used the term reframing.
Yes, whatever it is, if you requalify it to a new perception that you know aligns you with a more positive emotion, then you create the new reality almost instantly.
Yes, you do. If you can reframe what is going on in some way that you do not find it offensive. One good technique for reframing things when you are having a negative reaction to the things people are saying or doing is to realize that this is a reflection of themselves, their upbringing, or other things that is happening in their life, has nothing to do with you. And so you can perhaps give compassion that this individual who is behaving so badly as to make you upset simply was not brought up to have good manners, does not realize what he is doing and how he is making his life bad for himself, that this is not good behavior, and take pity on the individual who has said things. This is a way of reframing, so you are not offended by the things other people say. This is or you can call it requalifying. So that is a simple trick you can use to change your emotions or your reactions to the things that people say and do. And that is a very important skill to learn. And it helps you to move on an even keel throughout your life. You don't have to be getting angry and sad, happy by turns. You can simply live a life that is in generally harmony. It's harmonious with what is going on. You do not judge others. You let their mistakes go unchallenged. They will deal with their mistakes. Their mistakes will come back to haunt them. You do not have to point them out. Or when they make a mistake, they do something wrong, they say something in a wrong way, these things come back and they have to deal with them, or they will make other people mad. If you do not allow yourself to get mad, you do not have to deal with it again. It is over, it is done. And it moves out of your life, out of your aura, out of your chakras, out of your emotions. And so you keep your life on an even keel and you live balanced and happy. Are there other questions?
Okay, I always got questions. There's no time, yet there's a past and a future. So there are things we have done and experienced, we have had, and then there is the future that we create. Can you explain that in comparison, that this past and future existence in comparison with time is, I guess, as we know it, because there's no time anyplace else?
Well, there is only the now is but a fleeting second of time. It is constantly moving. So what was in your future becomes your now and then becomes your past almost immediately. So I am not sure what you are asking me. Would you try to ask it again?
Oh, okay. Like you've, well, lived other lives and you've had experiences in those lives, and we've all done that. But where we're at in the now, we create the future from here. So in a sense, we have a past because the past is all the experiences that we've experienced. And then we have a future. Now, that feels like a timeline. Like, but you know, that's us with time because we live in with this time business. So I'm trying to relate to the sense of the past experiences and our future ahead. But in a sense, you're saying they're not there, they're all squished together.
I do understand your question, I believe, more fully at this point in time. But you live in time. You cannot disregard that which has happened to you yesterday or last month or last year or 20 years ago, or perhaps another lifetime ago. This, you cannot smoosh that all into one point of time. You will remember various parts of it. And your future is yet to be created. That is true. But at some point in time, due to the words that you have said, due to the decisions you have made, due to the actions you have taken, that future begins to manifest around you. And it becomes your now. So I am not sure what you are trying to do. It is normal to think while you are in time in the frame of the past, the present, and the future.
Oh, okay. So, okay. I think I know what you're
I
saying.
do not think
As long as I'm here in the space where there is time, it's impossible to not have a past and future.
that
Is that
is
what you're saying?
correct.
Okay, but when I get where you are, there isn't any past and future. There's just what your experiences that you've had.
There is only now.
Only the now. Okay. All righty.
There is only a now, so that it's just simply not appropriate to speak in terms of the past or the future when you are in spirit. It does not exist for you in the same way
Wow. Okay.
because we are not in time. When I am in the medium, I have to experience time, and I do experience time.
Oh,
When
that's
I am not in the medium and have just returned to my spirit self in spirit, there is no time.
Ah, okay. Okay. That was cool. Enlightening. Okay. Okay. Now I got another one. How can we live in any past time period on Earth and it be our future, or it be all right? If it be our future with without oh gosh, how do I do this?
Are you
How can
thinking, are you wondering if you could have another life following this one, which would be in the past?
Uh, yes, and the rest of that would be, would it not, if we do that, would it not affect our actual existence now?
So the part of your question, you are wondering if we move back. What? One moment.
Our present life.
Yes. If you are coming into a new lifetime, which happens to be, we will say, 400 years in the past, it would have no effect on this lifetime because essentially you are coming back into a different body in a whole different circumstance. So therefore, it doesn't affect this lifetime. If it is not usual for you to choose a lifetime that is, say, a mere 30 or 40 years in front of this one, unless you planned on a very short lifetime, because you could not be living two different lives at the same time.
Okay. Now, if we if we went back, I shouldn't say that, I suppose. All right, if we decided to have a lifetime, say, like you said, 400 years ago, if we did something to affect, I don't know, evolution or history or something like that, would that then automatically change the now?
There you are asking a very a question that has no answer, because well, it does have an answer, but you cannot determine the answer to that, because if just because you have this, yes, your new lifetime is 400 years in the past, in this lifetime, it would have already been accomplished. So therefore, it would not affect this lifetime.
I see. Okay. I was wondering, I mean, I've seen that.
Yes. when you start speaking of lifetimes that are not sequential up the timeline, you can get yourself into great trouble trying to understand how each lifetime is separate from other lifetimes. Because when you enter into spirit, because you become aware of all your lifetimes, it is the experiences that you experienced. It is what you have experienced in those lifetimes that determine what is important to you and affect you in each way. So that in different ages and different locations, you will have different lessons than you would have in this lifetime. Since in this lifetime, there are miracles as far as a person who was living in the past would consider. They could not consider a computer, the television, the radio, electric lights. These things would not be in their frame of reference. So what is important lifetime to lifetime, whether it continues sequentially or you jump around through the millenniums that you have your choices to enter into, that it is the lesson to be learned as far as your relationships, your behaviors, whether you are complying with the mores of your society, or whether you are abandoning that which is considered to be right and wrong and living a different independent life. So these things are universal from society to society, even though the rules are different, because the technology, the understanding that exists among the centuries is different, but the rules of behavior are often very similar. That which is considered good and loving and helpful and kind and harming people and doing bad things to people, hurting people, stealing their possessions, causing them to be unhappy. These things still exist in every century, whether you are going to be a good person or not a good person, or one that has difficulty being a good person. This is where the lessons lie. It is not in the technology. It is not in what is going on. And so in some societies, it is harder to be the best person that you could be if you are impoverished or very poor, or contrary-wise, extremely rich. Where in other societies, it is easier to be a good person, even though you are poor. Or it is easier to be a really, really great person if you are very rich. It is possible to use your wealth to help others and create more peace and harmony in your societies, having to do with your status and what you do. So these lessons are the ones that are important. And you choose the one, the new life, based on what it is you wish to experience and what it is you wish to learn and what it is you wish to bring to the society and to your family and to your friends and to what is going on at that time.
Oh, okay. Well, speaking of bringing things to people, when we go to another lifetime, especially if it's in like 400 years ago, whatever, we have already experienced things like a car or something like that. This is kind of in our, I guess, subconscious, whatever, somewhere, it's in you somewhere. Would we then kind of learn or do things that haven't been done yet because we still have the sense of, I don't know, maybe you would invent something with a wheel on it or something because you somewhere in your subconscious, you know that this thing is going to turn. You know what I'm saying?
I think you were saying if you go back in time after having been in a more progressive society, or do you bring in knowledge that is not the same in that society?
Yeah, maybe like subconsciously, not saying you have a picture of a car, you know what a car is at the time, but the sense of the movement, the invention, the turning of the wheels or something, you know, that would help you maybe fix something and make something work and back then.
When you come into a new lifetime, and Laura, I will be answering your question in a moment. When you come into a new lifetime, as a baby, you may remember some of these things. However, as your mind develops and you become more preoccupied with your surroundings, then you lose all the memories that might have been with you as an infant. And so you can no longer access that information. It is not in your subconscious mind.
Oh, okay.
Laura has a question at this time, so perhaps she should ask her question.
Thank you. That was very interesting. Mine was more on the lines of how do you know if you're on the correct path for your soul's purpose? Like that, how can you be confident that that's what you're supposed to be doing?
If you are not supposed to be doing something, you usually cause yourself unhappiness. So if you are on the right path, you are usually happy about what you are doing. Now, this is not to say that because you have taken a job that you detest, that you do not like, that you are on the wrong path. It simply means that you need to find a different job. But if in general you enjoy the type of work that you do, then you are on your own right path. Your happiness is your gauge for many things. When you are unhappy, you often are doing something wrong. You cannot blame others. You must always look to yourself. So you cause your own unhappiness. You cause your own happiness. It is not the actions of other people. And so when it comes to your purpose, chances are that you will not be happy unless you are serving your purpose. I mean, there are people who come into a lifetime and they wish to serve others. And so they choose to be doctors or nurses, or perhaps even teachers. They wish to help children. They want to do something along that line. They would like to be policemen to bring order to the society, perhaps a fireman. It really doesn't matter what you do. Your purpose is to do what makes you happy and contribute well to your society. And what makes you happy can be your contribution. Now, many people like to think they want to choose the creative aspects of life, to be artists, to be musicians, to be actors or actresses, to be there are just many, many careers that seem more interesting. And in a sense, they do help society. To be a great basketball player, as is the current status right now, which is important in the world for many people's consciousness. But these things do help society, but not everyone can be a wonderful basketball player or a terrific artist or a fantastic actress or actor, a sculptor. These things can give you much enjoyment, but they may not be sufficient for you to support yourself, because there is only limited amounts of demand for many of these successful artistic lives. And so most of us have to enjoy doing these things as hobbies and do more mundane work in our life. But as a hobby, we fulfill ourselves. And so that is a good thing, because then we are happy. We sing with a group and we are happy. We act with a group and we are happy. And we may be a bookkeeper. We may be an accountant. We could be a teacher. We could be all different kinds of things and still pursue such artistic roles in life as hobbies, being artists. So there is no one purpose you came into this life to be. You came into this life to help others, perhaps, to teach others, to make the world a better place in some way through your actions, and to perhaps be a good mother or a good father. It does not matter what it is, but your purpose is not so well defined that you cannot find your purpose in all the millions of careers and activities and things that help the world go round and keep it running. And so people can be happy being waitresses. They can be happy being ambulance drivers. They can be happy doing anything and contribute well to society in these lives. So do not worry about whether or not you have chosen the right purpose in your life. Look to your life. Are you happy? And what is making you unhappy if you are not happy? And then try to find something that will make you happier. But just know that if it is an artistic career of some sort, it may be difficult for you to be successful, as there are limited numbers of people who can be successful at those types of careers, but who can enjoy them in their own life. And to be an actress as a hobby, you still will bring many people enjoyment, because many people can't afford to go to Broadway plays or things that cost a lot of money. And the local little theater can bring them immense enjoyment. And so you would be helping them as well as helping yourself, because you would be expanding and using your talents. And you can still take great comfort and happiness in whatever type of work you do. Seeing it as helping others is all you need to do. And then you are achieving your purpose. I hope that is helpful.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. Are there any other questions?
Oh, yes, Rankar. Hi, Rankar.
Yes,
Hi, Rankar, this is Soham.
Soham, yes.
Yes. Rankar, I guess going back to some of the earlier discussion, a little bit earlier in tonight's session, you mentioned about, if one person acts unconsciously, just kind of how there will be a karmic reaction, and they will eventually understand the consequences of their actions. I what about in the case where someone just acts unconsciously, but then later in life realizes they acted unconsciously? Do they need to pass through the same karmic reaction, or is there
Yes,
spirit?
I,
Yes.
I understand your question. Karma is erased. Let us put it that way. When understanding grows to the point that one recognizes one's problem, perhaps, that they had in the past, such as a common one might be a person who easily lost his temper and berated other people when they did not satisfactorily do a job. But then as they grew older, they realized that they were not compassionate on others, that they were impatient, and they began to change their ways. Well, all karma is erased at that point in time. When you can stop hurting others through your words and actions, when you stop causing problems through your words and actions, the karma that you would have accrued up to that point in time is erased. It is let go of because your subsequent behavior allows you to manifest more good in the world. And so your karma is erased. And I believe that is your question.
Yes. I guess everyone has done things, in their unconscious moments, and I think most people recognize later on as they gain more experience and life experience and wisdom that it was not the right thing to do or to say. And so I was just curious how that.
Yes, you are correct. As you have said, most everyone does things when they are younger and they are very unconscious of
Yes.
the results of their actions. And so as they grow in wisdom and they begin to change themselves, that this is erases this karma. They are no longer responsible for what happened in their past because they have changed their present and their present behavior and their present actions.
So my dad is asking, I think he's not fully understanding, so I'll
No.
So
still, if the person felt hurt, if the other person felt hurt, then you get released or you have to pay for that.
I think so. My dad is, I think I understand what you're trying to say. My dad, I'm not sure he's understanding, but he's asking, the other person who felt hurt, if.
Now, you have to realize that sometimes your actions may provoke a reaction from someone else in which they feel hurt, that they feel you have taken advantage of them or you have done something wrong, when in truth you have not. And you are not responsible for how people react. That is their responsibility. But you are responsible for what you said and you did. Now, what you said or you did may have been worthy of changing, may have been less than you could have been. So that in a sense that you took actions that caused suffering for another person, because you were unconscious and unaware of what you did, or you may have even done it deliberately. But then if the purpose was not to cause pain or suffering, and so that what you did was a mistake, you can undo that by apologizing and by offering to make good, so to speak, or to give them something. And you can erase your karma right then and there, or when you realize what you have done. But you are not responsible for everyone else's hurt, because many people use this as a way of manipulating others. I have been hurt. I am a victim of your bad behavior. You must change. Well, maybe your behavior wasn't bad. They just didn't like your behavior. And so they are choosing to be hurt. In which case, then, of course, they are causing themselves harm. It is a complicated thing. You must always look at your intention, whether you were aware that it would cause a problem, to know whether you were truly guilty, so to speak, of a karma deserving penalty. And I suggest that you not try to go through life evaluating your own behavior as to whether or not you have incurred some karma. For remember that karma is always the reaction to something. It is the result, what has happened. And karma can be just as good and beneficial as it is difficult. So if you have been kind to people, that you helped others, you are incurring karma. You incur the karma that brings about good relationships and good vibrations with other people, so to speak, that you are getting well. Karma is not just, I'm punished for something I did wrong. It's also, I am rewarded for doing right. And so if you try to be the best person that you can be in every situation, if you think about what it is that you have to decide and just make the best decision possible for yourself, if it involves other people, one that works for as many people as possible, then you are doing the best that you can. And that is all you can do. And people's reactions to what you have done may not be any reflection of karma on yourself. It can be karma on themselves for perhaps expecting something of you that was not reasonable. And then that, but they could try and manipulate you with that. Yes, just think about what's the best for you. Do the best that you can. And what seems like, if what you are doing is best for as many people as possible, then it is a blessing and earns you good karma, so to speak. Are there other questions?
Yeah, thank you, Ramkat.
Yeah, thank
You're
you.
most welcome.
Thank you. That was wonderful.
Hi, I have a question.
Yes.
I had to put Sabra down, my cat, on the 8th. Sadly, it was the day of my sister's birthday, but I thought death in life. I thought that was kind of cool. Just wanted to know how she's making out, if she has any messages for me. I've been sending her energy and love, and I just wanted to see if she's receiving it and if she has any message for me, please. Thank you.
So you are asking if you are getting a message from your cat?
Well, if she's getting my energy that I'm sending to her, and is she reciprocating, sending it back, and does she have anything to say to me? I know I say things to her all the time, but I want to see if she's going to respond in the same manner that I've been sending to her. Thank you.
Well, when an animal dies, they return to their oversoul. And as a result, they are absorbed into the one, into that oversoul. And they live in harmony and peace. And that soul is also recycled. I do not know. Perhaps Juana can contact your cat. I am not sure what that the cat would send you messages. You are sending her love. That can only help her in her current incarnation, or she is simply staying in spirit for the time being. And I am sure that she is aware of the energy that you are sending out. Now, when it comes to messages, I am not sure that I can bring you a message from your cat. I can only say that I am certain that she is receiving your love just as she received your love when she was alive, which was the most important time to give it to her, of course. And I am sorry that you had to cause your cat to die, be the instrument of her death, but it was a time to do so, that it was merciful to put her to sleep so that she need not suffer any longer. And so that allowed her to enter into peace and harmony within her oversoul, which would make her whole again and healthy and happy. And that is what you need just to remember, that she is whole and healthy and happy and contented. And you have done the best thing possible for her, even though it brings you sadness. And I am sorry that you, in a sense, are suffering because of missing your pet. And I will ask Juana. She will be coming back, as you well know, and we will have a few more moments left, and perhaps she will be able to give you a message if your cat is sending you a message. She will be the best one for that.
Thank you,
Are there
Wanda.
other questions for this evening?
Yes, I wanted to know where you're at on the other side, whatever we want to call it. Are there any rules or guidelines or things that you have to follow in the spirit world, not when you're connecting to us, but when you're just in a
Yes, I understand. It's hard to explain when you are in just a state of being. There are no rules.
Oh, okay.
I will simply say there are no rules. How is that?
Okay, no guidelines, nothing that you have to follow, any procedures you have to follow or nothing?
No.
Oh, okay. Alrighty.
You are a state, you are in a state of being which is complete in and of itself. So there is nothing special for you to do at this time. When you are in spirit, there are things you can do if you wish to, but you are I don't wish to say limited, but you are limited to only doing good things.
Oh, well, that's okay.
You would not even think of trying to do something that was not helpful to anyone. If you wish to help someone in the physical world, you would act such as I do, and you could make that decision to seek to be a guide to someone or not.
Hmm. Oh, okay. That's it.
So that is it. If we are to give time to answer the question about the cat, it comes time for me to say goodnight. I hope you have enjoyed this evening. I thank those who asked questions. I am much obliged for your questions, and I hope that you have a wonderful week, and we will meet again next week.
Good night, and thank you.
I give you all my blessings. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm back. Okay, it's Juana, and let's see. I know that there is a question concerning a cat and whether the cat can hear your good vibrations and are aware of your good vibrations and has any message to send you. Well, the cat cannot exactly send you messages because like it was when you were in the physical, you were speaking different languages, but you could tell one another. And your cat would, if it could give you a message in words, it would say that it was grateful for the love and affection and food that you gave it. And that was very important in that order. And take that as a message from your cat, or it loves you back. And that is my observation, that it loves you back and it is appreciative of all the love, care, affection that you have given it. And it will be returning to the physical world again sometime. I know that. Again, it's not a message from the cat, that is from me. And perhaps you will be lucky enough to get it again.
That's my hope.
Yes.
I already have her name. The name is Hope in Hebrew, Tikva, Tikvah. The national anthem of Israel is Hatikva, the hope. Her name before was Sabra, which is also a Hebrew word. But I've already told her I like her to come back to me, and Tikva, that's the name.
That is a very nice name that you have chosen, and I hope that you find one another.
Yeah, I do too. Thank you, Anna.
You are most welcome. Well, everybody, I hope you had a nice evening. And remember, I love you all. Good night.
Good night.
You're welcome, Julia.